SummerSlam 2024 was probably the best booked show of the year by far. When it comes to just every single match resulting with the best booking decision possible, I genuinely believe that each match was perfect when it comes to the outcome of the match and what happened in each match to get to that. And we will talk about each match here today in our SummerSlam 2024 review. Let's get started. First of all, I want to talk about one thing, and let's talk about that Jelly Roll concert. Now, I know not everybody's a big fan of Jelly Roll. Not everyone's like, oh yeah, Jelly Roll, woohoo. It wasn't just a concert focused on his music. It was a concert that was like built as a hype track. It was built as a hype video for the entire show. It showed like little clips of the lead ups to each single match, and it gave me way more excitement for the show than I can like honestly like explain. I was watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, like this music, we've been hearing this song every single Raw, every single SmackDown leading up to SummerSlam, and here it is, finally the full entire song with an amazing video hype package for the show, hyping everything up. So it wasn't just treated like an old concert where they would just sing one of their songs and that's it. It was genuinely treated like, yes, it was a concert, but it wasn't just for showing off Jelly Roll. It was wrestling themed, and that's what's important. It wasn't like, oh, Jelly Roll came here, he got a bag, and that's it. He came in here, he did his concert, but they used it as a way to hype up the entire show. And it was a great way of starting the show, in my opinion, and it got me super excited for every single match that happened after. So first, let's talk about Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, WWE Women's World Title. And this match, obviously, it was really good. I mean, there's not a single match on the card that was bad, and that's just being completely honest. I enjoyed every single match on this card, and this one does not, it's not any further from the truth. It was an amazing match. Rhea and Liv, they cooked. The worst part about it was probably the cat and mouse game that they played at the beginning of the match, where Rhea would just run after Liv while Liv would walk out of the ring, and then she'd come back right in the ring, and then, trying to just play mind games with Rhea. But as soon as they started actually wrestling, it started to get really picked up, and, Rhea obviously looked dominant because you got to protect that character she plays, and she looked great throughout the entire match. Liv Morgan looked fantastic, just, she is still the women's champion. Obviously, she won off of some crazy shenanigans with Dom. Essentially, Rhea hits a riptide, and instead of going for a pin immediately, she goes for a chair that was already involved earlier, and she picks it up, and she goes to hit Liv with it, but then Dom stops her and is like, no, Rhea, you got to win your title. You got to focus on the title. And then she, is like, okay, and then turns around and gets hit with an Oblivion. And it's like, oh shit, she's gonna lose. And then kicks out. And that's probably one of the only times I've ever seen anybody even kick out of Oblivion, which was pretty cool. Everything happens with Dom passing the chair in, Liv hitting an Oblivion on Rhea on the chair while the ref was distracted. And then, obviously, Dom kisses Liv after Liv pins Rhea Ripley 1, 2, 3. And this is incredible because it sets up an amazing feud, which was already arguably something that could be WrestleMania-like. Now we're getting a long-term feud that's probably going to have multiple matches, and we might see a possible Women's World Championship match in Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, which would be really interesting. And I'm excited to see what they're doing with the Judgment Day, but we'll talk way more about that later on. But oh my gosh, what an incredible way to start off the show. And, again, thumbs up, 10 out of 10 performances by everybody, and man, it looked fantastic. Alright, the next match on the card was Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker going in as the challenger. And, going back from Money in the Bank, the match was okay then, but it wasn't necessarily the Braun Breaker that we all wanted to see, the Braun Breaker that we all were looking forward to see. And this match instead actually was that. This was the dominant Braun Breaker that everybody had been excited to see face off against somebody like Sami Zayn. And we finally got that incredible in-ring classic. The only thing about it was really short. I feel like the match could have used probably another 5 minutes or so, because as soon as it felt like they started cooking, then Braun just hits a spear out of nowhere, and then he hits the bump, bump, bump spear. Sami, 1, 2, 3, he wins. And I'm happy that Braun Breaker won, but I saw a couple people online talk about how they're disappointed that Sami lost in that way because of how much he went through against Gunther at WrestleMania, and now he's just losing in almost like a squash match. And I wouldn't say it was much of a squash, because Sami did look good. He hit a blue thunder bomb, he was going for his Helluva Kicks, but Braun, studying the film or whatever, was ready for him. And, you know, the match was just overall, like, it was perfectly booked. And Braun Breaker is the new Intercontinental Champion, which I have no complaints about. That's exactly who I picked to win. That's exactly who I wanted to win. And I'm glad to see Braun Breaker win that title. That man will be a future world champion, and that is his first title win on the main roster, and it's a first of many. He will be main eventing Manias. He will be main eventing SummerSlams. He will be incredible in the future, and this is just the start of his amazing career we have here in the WWE. We are literally witnessing history, and we are finally getting to see his first title reign. I can't wait to go back and be like, I remember when Braun Breaker won the Intercontinental Championship back in 2024. What an amazing match. It was incredible. Braun Breaker won. Big thumbs up. Now, the following match after that was LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the United States Championship, and dare I say match of the night? Dare I say match of the night? Because probably match of the night. This match was incredible when it comes to in-ring. Now, it started off with a brawl. Instead of the match even getting started, they started off with an incredible brawl when Logan Paul got pissed about LA Knight hitting the Prime truck with a pipe and breaking the window. And then they actually get into a brawl outside the ring before the match even begins. And then they do an incredible like announce table spot where I think LA Knight hits like a neck breaker on Logan Paul, which was crazy. The table didn't even break either. They have a really good match, dude. Big highlight was when Logan Paul did like that springboard moonsault to the outside. And it was like super exciting. It was super quick, and it was like, whoa, it was kind of like out of nowhere, and it looked really, really cool. Another crazy spot was when LA Knight had Logan Paul, Logan Paul was going up to the top rope, and then LA Knight jumps up there. But, you know, he does that pretty often when he goes for his superplex. But this one almost seemed cleaner and more fast, which usually, I mean, yes, he does them pretty often and they don't look bad. But this one looked like even better because he picks him up and it almost didn't necessarily seem like a suplex, but it looked almost like a brain buster because it almost looked like he was landing him on his neck/head. And it was like, whoa, dude, was that like a top row brain buster? It was pretty cool. And then eventually shenanigans did happen where MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, got involved and gave Logan Paul this brass knuckles with a chain, and then LA Knight had Logan Paul on the outside of the ropes, like holding him up, and then the ref was behind him so he couldn't see. Logan Paul hits him in the chin with the brass knuckles, and LA Knight gets hit, and then he's starting to go for a buckshot lariat. Shout out Hangman Page, and he goes for it, and then LA Knight dodges it. BFT 1, 2, 3. It protects the BFT as well, which is really cool. LA Knight wins the United States champion, and if you watched my SummerSlam 2023 review, a year later video, I was talking about how LA Knight needed this more than anything because this was finally his shot of like getting some singles gold, and this was it. And they finally pulled the trigger on LA Knight, and I'm so happy about it. LA Knight is the new United States champion, and I can't complain anymore. That match was incredible, genuinely one of the best matches of the night, if not the best match of the night. Thumbs up all around. Also, one of my closest friends is an LA Knight fan. His name's Munsta, and I'm just Alright, so next we had Nia Jax versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship, and oh my gosh, dude, this match was so good. Now, I will say, when it first started, it was a little slow at first because it was hard. I feel like it genuinely is kind of difficult for these two to work with each other because like they never necessarily had like this insane match before, and they've wrestled in the past, and you know, it's not necessarily like they're like gonna put on some classic, but they definitely put on a good match here. It really picked up as soon as Bayley hit that amazing powerbomb on Nia. And it wasn't like this powerbomb where, you know, you're just on the top rope, bam. It was like a powerbomb, like she literally picked her up and started walking with her. Like picked her up and went like, boom, you know, and it was cool as hell. It was like, whoa, like that was incredible. Then, you know, she starts cooking, and then I believe Nia hit some move. I think it was maybe like a Samoan drop or something. And then all of a sudden here, it's Tiffy time. And Tiffany Stratton comes out, but then Bayley gets up and hits her, knocks her out. But then that is the distraction that Nia needed to take advantage of Bayley, hit her with like 2 power bombs, which was crazy. And then 2 annihilators. Like she hit Annihilator, got right back up. She's like, I'm the champ. Goes, sets back down, and then she is the new WWE Women's Champion, and I can't be happier for Nia Jax. Nia Jax a year ago re-debuted in the WWE, and nobody was happy about it. Everybody was crashing out saying, oh my gosh, this woman's just gonna, what's she gonna do? She's gonna come in, she's gonna injure everybody. She's not a safe worker. Nobody likes her. But look at this, man. She has put on amazing matches with people ever since coming back. It is exciting to see, and I am so happy for Nia Jax. And I'm excited to see what they do with this women's title division now. I mean, Tiffany Stratton's the Miss Money in the Bank. You still got Naomi. You still got Bayley. You still got Bianca. You got Jade. You got Blair Davenport. You got everybody. You got Chelsea Green, Piper Niven. We can see. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to see what they do with this women's title division over on SmackDown. Nia Jax is the person in front of it, so I'm excited to see what they do. So the next match was my most anticipated match of the night, and that was CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins as special guest referee. I will say, this match delivered. I was very excited for it, and it was incredible. Even if you're not talking about the in-ring, the storylines, and just the acting and the cinema in general of it all was incredible. Exciting. I really enjoyed everything about it. When it comes to just an in-ring, the first 10 minutes of the match was incredible because you just got to see CM Punk and Drew McIntyre finally fight. They had been building up this match since January. We're finally here, and we're finally getting this incredible match. And it was so satisfying to finally see them just start brawling in the middle of the ring when they were just starting throwing punches at each other. And then, it just looked really good. And then it really slowed down for me when all of the special guest referee spots happened with Seth and the bracelet getting involved, them just talking to Seth the entire time. And it started slowing down for me. And once you but in hindsight and thinking about it, it's okay, well, it makes sense because it's good for the story. It's going to hype up bigger matches that are to come, like another Drew McIntyre match for CM Punk, as well as Punk versus Seth eventually, hopefully at WrestleMania, which I'm going to be going to live, and I'm so excited about. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to see where we go with that. And Drew McIntyre did end up winning here, and I'm not disappointed in it at all because, yes, personal bias did want Punk to win, but when it comes to furthering a storyline that is arguably the greatest storyline in WWE right now, 100% behind Drew winning here so we can get probably a Bad Blood Hell in a Cell match maybe, or, I don't know what's going to happen. Everybody keeps saying, Bad Blood Hell in a Cell, Bad Blood Hell in a Cell. I feel like if there's any match that's going to get a Hell in a Cell match, it will be Drew versus Punk, and I'm so excited to see what they do with the remainder of this feud. The next match on the card was Damian Priest versus Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and oh my gosh, I know I've said match of the night. Oh my gosh, this match was so good, dude. It was so good. I'm telling you, there was not a single bad thing on this show, and this also is that Damian Priest, this is the first time I'd ever been rooting for Damian Priest in a match ever since he became world champion, and I was so behind him, and to see him lose was heartbreaking, yes, but oh my gosh, the way that they did it was perfect. Oh my goodness. With the Finn Balor turn, well, I'll talk about Gunther in a second. Finn Balor, he had been struggling in this lower mid-card division with winning the tag titles, being this scrum for Judgment Day, and now he's finally going to be that leader, evil, dastardly heel of the Judgment Day that he has been needing, that he has been working towards for so long, and then he kind of took away after losing momentum, after losing to Seth at SummerSlam, and here he is, back in that position again, looking like an evil, dastardly heel, and what he did to Damian is not going to be forgiven, or anything like that. That was incredible. Everything with that was insane, and the craziest spot for me was when Damian got out of that sleeper hold that Gunther had him in, and instead of focusing on winning the match, he goes and he tries to choke out Balor. He cared way more about Balor than he even did about the title at that point, because Balor was his family. Balor was his brother, his literal brother in arms, somebody he won the tag titles with, and he ends up turning on him in that manner, and it was so crazy to see the cinema in that. I was so excited. I'm so excited to see their feud. Oh my gosh. But let's talk about the King General, the Ring General, the main event himself, Gunther, who is our new World Heavyweight Champion, which is crazy to say. Yes, I know everybody at Mania, oh yeah, Gunther's going to win the World Championship now that he lost the Intercontinental title. And it's true. He is our World Champion. Gunther is the main event. He is the most probably best wrestler in the WWE right now. And it is true. And that I feel like that is just like almost undeniable at this point. He puts on a classic with pretty much every single person he goes into the ring with. And this is no different. He put on a classic with Priest here. Priest looked fantastic. And Gunther looked even more incredible. He started bleeding while he was getting those chops from Priest. He had blood running down his chest, and he rubbed it all over his face. He looked incredible. And Gunther, continues to prove why he deserves to be in this position. And I'm so happy that Gunther is the World Heavyweight Champion. I am just scared that this title isn't held hostage by him for the next 200, 300, 600 plus days like he did with the IC title. Because I want to see other people get shots. I want to see other people as champion. And I'm scared that he's just going to hold it for a really long time. If he does, I'm sure he's going to make the best of it. It's going to be an incredible reign. We're all going to bow down to our King General. But yeah, again, he is the new World Heavyweight Champion, and I have no complaints. And in our main event, we had Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes in a Bloodline Rules match. Now, I was not aware that it was going to be a Bloodline Rules match prior to making my predictions video, but I did still predict Cody because it's hard not to predict Cody nowadays. And Cody is still the WWE champion. But this match, before we get to what we're obviously all want to talk about, before we get all to that, the match was really good. In ring, it was incredible. Solo Sikoa, nobody necessarily ever doubted that he's good in the ring. He is really good in ring. The only problem with me was the fact that he was pushed so hard after this incredible losing streak he just went on, and that's why in my opinion, I didn't like him that much. Doesn't take away from the fact that he's good in ring. He's a good wrestler. That as well as he had an amazing match with Cody here. He looked great. When it comes to a Bloodline Rules match, after Mania, everybody knows that everything that happens before people come out doesn't really matter. But it doesn't take away from the fact that before the match, before everything happened with the Tongas and Jacob and Randy and Kevin, and it was so good. And then, the Tongas come out after Cody hits a crossroads, starts attacking Cody. And all of a sudden we hear and then Kevin Owens comes out and helps Cody, and then Kevin Owens starts getting beat down, and we hear "I hear voices in my head," and we get Randy finally coming out, and it's like, woo! We're starting to get hyped, like, let's go. Here we go, man. We finally get Randy, we get Kevin back, and they looked fantastic, beating up the Tongas, and they take them out. Hope maybe we'll get an RKO tag team title run. We'll see. That'll be crazy. Then it's just Cody and Solo again. And Cody goes for another crossroads. He starts going for his triple crossroads this time. And on the second crossroads, all of a sudden, Jacob Fatu, here he comes. Whisper in the wind. I literally predicted that he was going to go for that, and immediately he goes for a Whisper in the wind. Hits it on Cody. Then he goes for his top rope moonsault. Then he throws him out and then goes for a solo pin. 1-2, kicks out. Throws Cody outside the ring, puts him on the table, jumps off the top rope, hurts his leg. Cody gets back in the ring, starts going on a little one-on-one back again with Solo, hits a top rope, Cody cutter, and then all of a sudden we hear it. Roman's WrestleMania 40 music hits, and oh my God, I just got goosebumps right now just talking about it. Our tribal chief is back. My reaction was priceless. Live on Twitch, I was reacting with a whole bunch of my friends, Corey, Matt, Diviz, CJ. We all reacted to that together. A whole bunch of other people were in call as well. But we had all of us had the cameras on. And there's a clip on Twitter. I don't know if we might get the clip in here. Actually, you know what? Play the clip of my reaction to it right now. I don't care. Play the clip right now.
Racing.
Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! My reaction to it. And it genuinely was crazy. I had never been more excited watching a wrestling match in a minute. Just seeing Roman return after this long time away, over 100-something days of him being gone, and he's finally back, and it was incredible. They couldn't have done it any better. He comes in and you know that he does not care about that championship anymore. This is not about the championship. This is about the tribal chief. This is about the head of the table. This is about this false tribal chief who has taken over his bloodline. And here he is coming back to reclaim what is his. The fallen king coming back to return to his kingdom. He is back. He's hit Solo with that incredible Superman punch. And then that ooh ah that he does. And it literally, that crowd was so in tune with that. It was incredible. Just the chills just talking about it right now is just crazy to even think about. And then he hits that spear and he looks at Cody and he's like, and he leaves, and Cody hits him Solo with a crossroads, and he looks Roman dead in the eyes while he pins him. It genuinely was cinema. It was so good. I know the word cinema is just thrown around all the time, but this was cinema. This was the most incredible return of the year easily, let alone probably in a while, since probably Punk at least. But if you don't count Punk, then I would say easily the best return in a minute. And the fact that they redid it at SummerSlam, the same place that he returned 4 years ago and attacked The Fiend, he attacks Solo. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, Cody Rhodes wins. Probably the best show since Mania. Easily the best show besides WrestleMania of the year, in my opinion. It was full of perfect booking, not a single bad decision the entire night, and just incredible, turns, championship changes. It was really good. It was perfect. Best SummerSlam of all time. Best SummerSlam of all time. Thank you guys so much for watching. And make sure you guys all like, subscribe, comment what your guys' thoughts on SummerSlam was. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the show, what your guys' thoughts on every single match was. And again, I stream pretty much daily over at twitch.tv/YouCan'tSeeTrey. We just also got done. That whole entire time, I had just been doing a 24-hour live stream in celebration for SummerSlam. And it was one of the most incredible live streams of all time. And during that stream, I also joined Pro Wrestling Nexus, whose logo is down here in the corner. I am now a content creator for them, so that was another really cool thing that happened, and that's why I have this logo here. So shout out to Pro Wrestling Nexus. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have an incredible day. And I'm going to SmackDown on the 9th, the first SmackDown since Roman's returning, and I probably will see Roman Reigns in person, so that'll be really cool. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. See y'all later. Bye, guys. He done miracles on me.